Hello, everyone, and welcome to Snap Take. This is Glazer of Snap Judgments, the official podcast of Marvel Snap Zone. And what we have for you today is, as always, 4 amazing new decks for you, including the current #1 ranked deck from the #1 ranked player. You will be able to get that exclusively in this video, but that's not all. We've got 3 other great decks, bundle reviews, and so much more. We're going to begin with a deck that is taking the meta by storm. This deck is absolutely everywhere, completely kicking Wiccan out of the meta, being really good into various different varieties of the Storm War Machine deck. It's Husky's Agatha list. Out of sheer habit, when I write Husky, I'm in the habit of writing Husky Hella. So I wrote Hell, and then I realized it was an Agatha, and I kept both names because it amused me to do so. So hopefully it amuses you, because Husky's built a million great decks at this point in his Marvel Snap career. But that original Husky Hella that put him on the map will still always have a special place in my heart. This list is absolutely incredible. It's one of the best lists in Marvel Snap right now, and I cannot urge you to play it enough. Yes, Agatha is real. This has a 60% win rate at high infinite. You can find Husky streaming this and many other decks at twitch.tv/HuskyPuppies35. In addition, over on KM Best's YouTube channel, Husky is interviewed about this list. Black Knight is needed. Hydra Bob, it can be the best one you have. Iceman or Nightcrawler are safe. And what do you do if you don't have Legion? So I think you kind of have to have Legion here. If you're seeing any of the War Machine deck, right, in particular, you really need Legion, because Legion is how you beat the Storm War Machine combo. Your opponent plays Storm, then they play War Machine, right? You know that the next card they're going to play is Legion. You should be able to get priority because they just played a 3-2 while you played a 3-5. You're able to get out either an Agatha or Ghost Rider or a Shard or Ghost Rider that card back on turn 4, and as long as you can do that, you should have priority, which means you can Legion, get rid of the flooded location, which means that their Legion is going to do nothing in particular. That's fundamentally why you really need Legion. If you're not seeing a lot of that deck right now, if you're not seeing the Storm War Machine deck that's everywhere right now, then hey, feel free to ignore Legion, ignore my saying you must have him, and replace him with whatever 5 you like. Any good 5 will do. All good? All right, so turn 1 is Black Knight over Hydra Bob. Black Knight is one of the key cards in the deck. That's why it's a Series 5 card you need. Turn 2, Agatha's going to play whatever 1-drop is there. Or if you have both, it'll play both. Hopefully it doesn't play them in anything that's a terrible location for you, but no big deal. Turn 3, you'd really like to discard Agatha, whether that be Lady Sif or Moon Knight. Be wary, Moon Knight can also hit the one other even cost card in the deck, so Sif is safer. But Moon Knight gives you access to Stature, which is a key card, and Stature for 1 is a snap condition for this deck. However, if Moon Knight hits Agatha, you're just fully going off, especially if you have that Black Knight, so now you have a Shard. If you have that in Stature, you're snapping. You can play Wave for Agatha as well. That's obviously dangerous to Shang-Chi, but usually a generally fine play. Turn 4, you'd like to play Shard or Ghost Rider, or just drop Agatha. Any of those are fine. If you cannot do that, it's probably time to run. You're not doing the thing with this deck. If you must play a 3+1 and there is no snap, you're fine staying in. Turn 5, if you have not discarded a card, it is time for Black Bolt. If you did Moon Knight, if not Vision or Legion are fine. You really want that Stature. Stature and Ghost Rider or Shard are really good here. Basically, you could have an extra 14 power card, that's 21 power, or you can play Stature and Claw, which is fundamentally a movable Doctor Doom, right? You've got 4 in one lane, 8 in one lane, 7 in one lane, which is just more power than Doom offers for the same energy cost. You can do 4 in one lane, 15 in another, 11 in one, 8 in one. You get the idea. It is incredible, and you should absolutely be trying this list out. It is crazy strong. We're going to take one last look at this, then we're going to do a quick chat, and we will get to the #1 deck. So again, this is probably the best Agatha list right now. This is an absolutely meta list. It's also one of the easiest decks to play. So if you're looking for something that you can have a smooth sailing to even high infinite with, this list is extraordinarily well positioned right now. Go give it some play. Hey, I'm also going to ask you to hit that sub button. We give you 7 days a week of videos on this channel. Right below me, you'll see a little red button. You hit it, and all of a sudden, you're subscribed to the channel. It would mean the world to us. We're trying to hit 15,000 subs by the end of the year, and your support would go a long way. I know a lot of you already subbed, like 60 to 70% of my viewers every day are subs, so know how much I appreciate you. Please continue to, if you're willing to, like and comment to help spread the good word about the channel. It tells the algorithm, helps us fight the machines and get this video in front of more people. In addition, we're giving away a season pass this week. We're actually going to announce a season pass winner later this video. We're giving away another season pass this week. All you have to do is be subbed and comment on each video. Each video will have a question. You answer that question in the comments of the video, you're entered to win a season pass. One a week until the last week of the season, which is only 2 weeks away, and then we'll be giving away 5 of the next season pass, and then the first week of that season we'll give away 5 more. So if you want season passes, we give away an absolute ton of them. And also, if you're interested in the Pokemon Pocket game, it's a new Pokemon TCG with 5-minute games just like Marvel Snap. The description and the pinned comment to this video both have a link to my first video. I have one video that will go up at the exact same time as this about Pokemon Pocket. Please give it a watch, a like, a sub if you're willing, show some love. If you have any interest in that game, it's an intro. And then, because it's the first day of that, we also at 3 p.m. Eastern have a second video about the monetization expected in the Pokemon Pocket game, which should be also interesting to Marvel Snap fans because I think the monetization will be similar, and I did a big breakdown of that monetization as well. Cool. Finally, Derek Yes Noki. I just like the yes no thing. This is the deck Derek is currently playing at number 1, and oh boy is it powerful. This list is crazy good, and it let me do the thing in the thumbnail where I say, yes, Kitty Pryde is both in this list, and we're going to do a bundle review for this Kitty bundle later. This is my current favorite Kitty variant, but this list is insanely good. It has a million ways to win. It has a million ways to answer the meta. Quake is absolutely hilarious against the Storm nonsense right now. Like, completely, wildly hilarious. If you can do a, like, Quake and Vulture on turn 5, just enjoy your cubes. Your opponent is so screwed. If you see Dagger or Vulture with Madam Web, you can snap. This deck is so good at making one of those a lane winner and then figuring out a way to steal another of those lanes. Elsa is just such a powerhouse in lists like this. Elsa, Angela, and Madam Web all have amazing synergy to the point where, like, I was like, why is Thena not in this list? And then I played it and was like, oh, this list just puts up so much power. It does not need Thena. Elsa is so much more power than Thena usually is in this list, just because Madam Web lets you cheat. Fundamentally, Madam Web lets you cheat with this list. Unless they can answer her, you're going to have just like a 9 to 15 power Vulture, right? A big old like 12 power Dagger, and then like you take away their big stuff with US Agent, and like you're scaling everything up, so all your like middling cards are just slightly bigger, and it's a problem. This list is so good. So Derek is still the number 1 player. He was Havoc OP, now he's just Derek. He's number 1 on the Infinite Leaderboard, no matter what you want to call him, though. So you need Kitty for this deck, although you can buy Kitty for gold right now if you have the variant that was just in that previous slide. That variant, the Shadowcat one, you can play Kitty in a deck. You'll still have to eventually open the regular base art one, but you can play the card, which is what's really important here. You do need Madam Web, you do need Elsa, you do need US Agent. I know that's a few expensive cards. Sorry, it is the number 1 list. Ghost Spider is another needed card. But Ghost Spider A can be Aranya on, well, tomorrow. Tomorrow when Aranya comes out, you can totally replace Ghost Spider with Aranya. There's situations where that'll be better, there's situations that'll be worse, but it is a change you can make. While there's also, for the rest of this month, a Ghost Spider bundle, much the same way as that Kitty bundle, so you can buy that Ghost Spider bundle and then be perfectly fine playing that card. Kate Bishop is really great. You can make it White Widow or Jeff, but I don't think either one really does the job. I think it kind of has to be Kate Bishop. You just need, like, note that, like, Ghost Spider isn't really a 1-drop you can play. You need the extra 1-drops that Kate offers. White Widow and Jeff are fine, I guess. Kate also gives you an extra possibility of a move card, which is really, really great. Nocturne, if you're not seeing a lot of the War Machine deck, you have 2 answers to the War Machine Storm thing. They are Quake and Nocturne. Nocturne into Acid Arrow or not Acid Arrow. Which arrow is that? Grapple Arrow or into Ghost Spider. Both remain ways to immediately change a turn. Doctor Strange would do too if that were the biggest card. But if you're not seeing a lot of that deck, or you think Quake does a good enough job at solving that deck, then Nocturne should probably be Shadow King. Shadow King is very good in this list. I personally have just been not worrying about the... me seeing 1 Quake is more likely than them seeing Storm into War Machine into Legion. So I've just been sort of ignoring it, using Quake as good enough, and running Shadow King, because Shadow King is stellar right now. Shadow King is a very, very powerful card. All right, so let's take a look card by card, because the number 1 list is definitely worth it. So Kitty Pryde is a scaler. I'm very often getting to like 10 power Kitty Prydes here with Elsa Bloodstone. She's helping me get like 6, 7, 8 power Angelas. It's really, really nice to have all these cards in concert. Kitty Pryde is back to being the ultimate enabler. Kitty never stays out of the meta for long. She's one of the best cards in Marvel Snap. Ghost Spider is here as a quick enabler. Madam Web takes a turn of setup, right? You have to play a card, and then you have to play and wait for them to resolve. Ghost Spider says this resolves immediately, which means that like you can be surprise power. Ghost Spider plus Dagger alone is often just a 12 power card for 3 energy at the end of the game. That's obviously through the roof stats. Ghost Spider is great. In addition to other things I've used Ghost Spider for in playing this deck, obviously making Vulture bigger, making a card get the Elsa buff when I didn't have other ways to move it, and then pulling that out. Making Nocturne change locations immediately, and my favorite, quiet one, is making US Agent go into the lane that has all the big stuff. Next up, we have Dagger. Dagger is just insane power. If you can move Dagger twice, she's almost always like 18 to 20 power. That's insane for 2 energy. She's one of the best and most powerful cards. She doesn't always have the best synergy with Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange has to almost always be a second move for her, but don't hesitate to use Ghost Spider and Madam Web with her. I hold her as long as possible because she's such a surprise massive amount of energy that I'd rather wait till late. But if you have to play her early, especially in an opponent deck that's trying to play a lot of cards, I was going to say flood the board, and then I realized that that's now going to be a Storm thing. But an opponent's deck that's trying to play a lot of cards, Dagger is insane. Madam Web is what makes this deck work. It's the card that combines, along with Kate Bishop, the multiple different archetypes. It says my Angela, Kitty, Thena combos get better, because now I can keep pumping up Angela every turn with multiple cards and then just throw one off. Even if it's not a move card, you're perfectly fine to just be like, I don't need a Ghost Spider on this spot. Shoot. Which also gives you access to certain locations that are auto wins. Phenomenal there. And then, of course, if you can get a Dagger or a Vulture, having that free move on either of those cards. Vulture would be a 6/9, which is a top-of-the-line speed, best 3 in the deck. Best 3 in the game, and you don't do anything extra to get that. That's just what you get for running these 2 cards or running, and then you have extra ways to do that with Ghost Spider and Dagger. So Madam Web just makes this deck really sing. She is not necessarily a snap condition, but her with a move card is a situation I will very often snap in unless I'm pretty sure they can scale over me. Angela's a decent scaler here. She's getting to 3/7 or 3/8. 2/7 or 2/8, which is insanely good. Obviously, you would take a 2/7 all day, every day, which is fundamentally what US Agent starts at, which is why he's so good. But Angela's incredible right now. She is just a lot of power. Being able to move things off her means I can play 3 cards on her, make her a 2/6. And then if one's Kitty, one's gone, Madam Web tosses one off, and then I can play 2 more cards on her, and then like just keep going, and she just can get huge. This is a serious scaling threat. Angela, she's wonderful in this list. This Doctor Strange, one of my favorite pieces of art in the game, because I'm basically always wearing a hoodie once winter comes, is stellar. He is really, really strong. My favorite use for him was completely silly. I dropped Madam Web, and then the blow up on 2. I didn't have a 1, or I played Kitty, who cares, whatever. I don't actually remember the difference. And then I played Madam Web, and it became the, after turn 4, blow up cards here. And like, Madam Web does not want to be in that location, right? So I threw a Doctor Strange down, because Madam Web is the only card. Doctor Strange does not say other, I don't believe, but he is other. And Madam Web was moved away. Really great, right? Be a little careful. Occasionally you'll make like a Kitty too big, and you have to be a little careful with your Doctor Strange. But like, usually the biggest card is just Vulture or Dagger, and having that final, like, I don't care where you are, Vulture or Dagger goes to the right spot right now, is just game winning. You don't have to compete in a lane, and then all of a sudden, if you've got a Vulture Dagger floating around, and it seems like they're stuck or stranded, you just drop a Doctor Strange, and it's like, all of a sudden, that lane is won. I just dropped 20 power there, 21 power there, with no problem. Kate Bishop is why the curve works in this list again. The 2 arrows, the grapple is obviously really great with Dagger, really great with Nocturne, really great with Vulture. Acid is really great Clog. It also is another card that gets on and off Angela. The other cards are just decent power. You're not doing anything special, just having a couple 1/4s that help you fill lanes is great. Filling lanes is the name of the game with this, thanks to Elsa Bloodstone, and Hawkeye makes that far, far more effective, while also just being a decent body herself. Quake is still a cube stealer, right? That's what Quake is here for. Every time Quake is in a deck, it steals cubes. We're in a meta where locations matter an extreme amount, thanks to the like utterly ridiculous amount of Storm and Legion stuff because of War Machine. And Quake says, I win that game. You just turned off all your stuff. You made whatever the location be, whatever most benefits me, and now I win. US Agent is a 2/7 at base, right? Like you're almost always going to be able to play him where the opponent has at least one big card. If you do play him where the opponent has one big card, that's a 2/7. If you can get to 2 cards, that's a 2/11. And now we have one of the best statted cards in the game. We have nothing that is on our deck that is hurt by US Agent, and everything that benefits this card is absolutely incredible. And don't be afraid to play it early into Madam Web and reposition it where it's needed. Elsa is your scaler. She's why this deck has enough power. If you don't see both Dagger and Vulture, you just get like 10 power Kitty Prides with like a 7 power Angela and like a 6 power Nocturne, and all of a sudden you have enough power to steal a lane. And especially with US Agent, Elsa Bloodstone is crazy, crazy power. And Vulture is a scaler, right? Vulture is 9 to 15 to 21, which is just silly, right? Like that is amazing for Doctor Strange. And again, what I like to do is I like to play Madam Web and start to get myself set up with like an Elsa, and then I'll play a Ghost Spider and a Vulture into the Madam Web, and then I'll just chuck them away, and then like now I've got a 3/16, and then Doctor Strange to end the game is enough to win with that card, and then I only really need to move Dagger once, right? Like Dagger is a 12. I have a 12 and a 21 that I paid 3 each for, and I've still got enough other ways to win. Awesome, awesome, awesome card. Vulture gets humongous in this list. And then Nocturne's here because locations are annoying, right? She was so much better as a 3/5, it's actually painful. I, again, am running Shadow King here most of the time with this list, for me personally, because I think, again, Quake is enough for the bad matchup, but Nocturne as a surprise way to change locations is a cube stealer. Nocturne can be a snap back against decks that would otherwise beat you, which is obviously extremely powerful. You turn their snaps into your +4 or 8 cubes. Yes, please. So yes, Noki, this looks sort of like an old Noki list to me. It's not exactly. It's sort of like a mix between an old Noki or Bounceless Bounce or Saraless Sarah, some combination thereof, but I love this. Let's go turn by turn. So again, number 1 list. We've got turn 1 Kitty, turn 2 I play Madam Web over Angela usually, and that's more or less equal to Kate. You can play Angela and then go into Web Kitty. That's perfectly fine as well. Sometimes you're going to drop Kate, particularly if locations are telling you that you might need an Acid Arrow. Turn 3, Elsa is better than Vulture, is better than Nocturne, equals, and Nocturne is more or less equal to Kitty plus Dagger. A different 2, Angela plus Kitty or Kate plus Kitty, and then Dagger plus Ghost Spider. Obviously, be a little careful with your hand size when you choose to play Kate Bishop and Kitty together. Turn 4 is 2 2s, or you can do your first move. We're talking Ghost Spider Vulture type plays. That's generally my favorite. You can also do a trigger and move with Elsa Bloodstone. So, like, let's say you got Kate out and now you've got extra cards. You can now get Elsa going as well, which is perfectly freaking fine. No hesitation there, right? Starting to trigger Elsa. If you can get 3 triggers off Elsa, you're in heaven. Turn 5 is Nocturne and a 2, generally speaking. This is also your last Madam Web chance. You don't always need her more than once. Just moving her once is +6 power on a Vulture, or can be +12 power on a Dagger. So if you aren't going to play Madam Web now, you're basically never playing her as a 2/1, but keep an eye out for this being your last chance. Turn 6, I usually like Kitty, US Agent, and Doctor Strange. That's my goal play, right? You can also do, if you had to play US Agent earlier, you can do Doctor Strange, and then you can do a Ghost Spider with a Dagger just fine, and then you can still play Kitty, and then there's just a ton of ways to get power. All good? So right after this next bit, it's time for the return of the classic ongoing list, and then we're going to do our giveaway winner with that. So last look at this list. This is again the current number 1 list of Marvel Snap. Derek is a brilliant player, but this deck is likewise brilliant, and you should give it a try. I'm having a ton of success with it. If you'd like to see gameplay for these decks, please check out the stream team. The great Gregor2424 will be streaming at 12 p.m. Eastern today if you are able to check it out. If not, he'll have a YouTube video up with those games tomorrow, while the King of Canada should have a video up with games from today. If you're interested, please do check it out. All right, Snap Variants. Our friend Snap Variants dropped a really cool ongoing deck called Warmongering. I love this combination of Madam Web and War Machine. Basically saying I can beat anything. So Madam Web and Cosmo is an absolute cube stealer. If you drop Cosmo on Madam Web, you can often stop 1 on reveal. And then remember, move triggers happen before anything else, even if you don't have priority. So you can shove Cosmo over to wherever you want in order to basically steal the damn game, which is amazing. You can also do Jean and Cosmo for decks that like, because like Wong decks usually only play one card, so you drop Jean in a lane, and now they have to play Wong there, and then you can play Cosmo with your priority and just roll them. Tons of power left and right with this list. Tons of tricks left and right with this list. Please do play. I mean, look, if you get I spoke earlier about how powerful it was to go Claw, and name of card is Claw and Stature. Earlier in this video, you can do Claw and Ebony Maw after a War Machine for the exact same amount of power, the exact same combination, more vulnerable to Killmonger, but still absolutely insane. There's a bajillion ways to win with this list. It is super, super strong. So you can find our friend SnapVariants at twitter.com/SnapVariants. Please do me a favor, if you do go visit that hell site, go check them out. SnapVariants is amazing. So replacements are kind of yikes. You need the cards to optimize this list, but you can try a 2-cost ongoing like Armor for US Agent, or a 4 like Ms. Marvel, or Captain America, or Speed for Man-Thing. Both are way worse. The only card that I think is interesting that's not in the list, that could be in the list, is Super Skrull, because we seem to be in a fairly ongoing meta. Also, before we get to the turn-by-turn, our winner of the Season Pass giveaway is Ezla1663. Please shoot me a message on Twitter, Discord, or email. Twitter is SnapJudgmentsPod, or Twitter is SnapJudgeCast. Gmail is SnapJudgmentsPodcast@gmail.com, and Discord is Pulse Glazer. Pick one, message me, you get a Season Pass. All right, so this is a 63% win rate deck. It went 63 and 21. I don't know if that's actually 63%. That's what the app said. All right, so turn 1, you play Ant-Man over Maw. Turn 2, you would like to play Madam Web, although if you do play Ebony Maw on turn 1, if you have Madam Web or War Machine, you can easily get cards in there. Madam Web over Lizard over US Agent, you'd rather hold Agent for later. Then you can drop Jean over Luke over Cosmo for turn 3. Cosmo goes right up the order if you've got Madam Web, and can thus throw him wherever the hell you want later. Turn 4, War Machine is generally speaking your priority, but hey, if the opponent clearly has no high-cost cards, Man-Thing's a pretty good replacement. Turn 5, Man-Thing and Maw, or Claw, or 3 and 2. This is a really good turn to Luke or Cosmo as a surprise buff to your stuff. Turn 6, you can drop Spectrum. I don't often find myself dropping Spectrum. I very much prefer a combo of cheaper stuff. In particular, I really like the Ebony Maw and Claw play at the end of the game. But hey, Spectrum is often just a game winner. It is a ton of power since everything in this list is ongoing. Having a 1/9 Maw is just fairly mean. All right, it's time for some bundle guides right after this, and then it's time for Symbiote Takeover, the last deck we're going to talk about today. So SnapVariants has this list called Warmongering that you should try. This is my personal favorite. There have been a few of these floating around I've seen. This is the highest win rate version on Untapped. It is the most fun I found and the most effective. All right, Pride Before the Fall bundle. Go buy it. Stop what you're doing. Go buy it. This is, if you buy gold bundles, this is one of the best gold bundles they've released in a very long time. There was one a couple months back that was better. That was like one of the best gold bundles ever. This is slightly worse than that, unless you don't have Kitty Pryde. And if you don't have Kitty Pryde, this is holy shit great value. Like, you're never, I don't know, I can't think of a better value than this if you are missing the Series 4 card. Please, please, please go buy this and go get yourself a Kitty Pryde. But even if you do have Kitty Pryde, this is excellent value, significantly better than a Token Tuesday, and you're getting it just for gold. So please do go grab Pride Before the Ball. This bundle is awesome. Cannot overemphasize that. And if you don't have Kitty, figure out how to get enough gold to buy this, because you must have this bundle. Meanwhile, Feline Fancy is the current Black Cat bundle in the shop. It is fine. I needed some gold, so literally to buy the Kitty bundle, because I had to have that variant. That's my favorite Kitty variant. But Feline Fancy is a fine bundle. So again, the way we do this for cash bundles is 170% is the bare minimum of being acceptable to buy. Anything lower than 172%, please do not buy. This is 10% better than that, which is fine. 200% is where I start to go, this is a really good buy. And then above 200%, like 210, 220, 230, is like, oh my god, that's great value. So this is fine value. I like the ones that give you sort of a mix of gold and credits, and this does that, so I was for it. And I grabbed it, especially because Black Cat as a 410 seems to be coming back into the meta at least a little bit. But you don't need it. There will be better bundles. Again, however, remember that this Kitty Pryde bundle is 3,500 gold, and this is 3,000 gold. So if you can make it happen, this is a really good combination in order to ensure you get a Series 4 card and enough tokens for another Series 4 card. Cool? All right, our final deck of the day is Raven Puma. Why it's called Puma, I do not know. But this is a Raven list that he shared that I think is really cool. Running Cosmo and Juggernaut in Destroy list is kind of hilarious. I like it just because like you get your combo going and your opponent's like, well, I'm gonna beat them because I know what they're doing, and then you just go Cosmo Juggernaut and you can win, and that's kind of hilarious. This is obviously a Nimrod list, right? Your goal is to get Nimrod with Symbiote Spider-Man or Nimrod under a Tuma and just blow it up a bajillion times until you win the game. If you can do that, you're happy. What is Cosmo here for? Well, Cosmo's like main use here is you can use Cosmo to drop Destroyer without like any downside, and then you can use Cosmo to Juggernaut things into stuff. So you can find a Raven streaming at twitch.tv/RavenHS. Yes, that's Hearthstone, but Raven streams lots of games. He's kind of awesome. Nimrod and Null are required cards here. Symbiote Spider-Man can be Shuri, and X-23 is semi-required, but you can go with Nova. But like Nova's kind of gross. Alright, so Raven's Brews are always fun. Turn 1, X-23. Turn 2, Carnage, if you can get out Symbiote Spider-Man early, or you have a Tuma that you can get out early. Getting out either early is big. If not, you just play Wolverine. Turn 3, Atuma or Symbiote if you can. If not, you continue to set up. If no Nimrod, you want a huge Venom, so be careful with your Venom if you don't have Nimrod. If you can get out an early Nimrod by Killmongering here, you will often do so, and just Killmonger on turn 4, and then use like Carnage and Venom on turn 5. It's perfectly fine. Because that Carnage Venom can lead to a big Destroyer, which is just a game winner at that point. Or, yeah, whatever. You get the idea. Then turn 4 is Atuma over Symbiote, generally speaking. Symbiote or Atuma. It depends what your opponent's playing. If your opponent's got any sort of junk or disruption, you'd rather drop Atuma. If not, you're going to drop Symbiote. Turn 5 is Nimrod, is generally better than a bunch of Destroy, and if you're playing a bunch of Destroy, you want a huge Venom so that you can play a huge Null. Nice and simple, right? So, you basically eat Atuma and some other stuff, and then you get yourself a nice big Venom, you drop yourself a nice big Null, and you win the game. If not, you can pop Nimrod some more, which is kind of the goal, right? Like, Nimrod's the main play pattern, but the Null Venom thing is a perfectly fine backup. Also, please note how symbiote this deck is. We got Carnage, we got Null, and we got Symbiote Spider-Man and Venom, right? So, like, that's pretty damn symbiote, but we also have the Venomized Juggernaut and the Venomized Killmonger. I don't buy a lot of Venomized variants, so pretty cool to get this many in one. All right, very cool list. Props to Raven for it. Questions of the day, then we're out of here. So I keep being asked about Storm War Machine Legion, whether it's a problem, and no, I don't think it's a problem at all. I think getting the exact 3 cards in the exact right order is fairly rare. This isn't Professor X where you just needed 2 cards by turn 5-6, or 1 card really, Professor X, and then you would be able to have like a million different ways to win that last lane. This isn't Galactus, where like eventually when they took out so many of the Galactus counters that it was just too easy to trigger. And once you did, Goliath guaranteed you a win. Old Goliath guaranteed you a win, not new. This is a specific 3-2, which is real low stats. A very specific 4-7, and then Legion. There's a lot of ways to counter this. We talked about the way of running your own Legion to counter it. Perfectly freaking acceptable in any list that wants a lot of 5s. You just run like a Scarlet Witch or a Magic just fine without losing anything, or Nocturne or Quake, or you could just run a War Machine or a Rogue. Rogue is a snap condition in this, right? Because like then you've got War Machine now and they don't, and they're locked out of the game. So Rogue or Enchantress, like, or just run Echo and like start to mess with them. There's a bajillion ways to counter this, and I think like just its own fragility, its own rareness of being seen, plus your power means I don't think this really needs to be nerfed. You can let me know otherwise in the comments. That's not the question of the day, but it is a thing. You can let me know. Parry asks about kids being protected on the internet and YouTube in particular. Basically, the world is full of terrible people and predators, and I don't think that it's wise to live in fear of them. I think one of society's big mistakes has been to like pull kids in and hide them instead of speaking to them frankly about it and teaching them how to fight it, because that like it's because they get to operate in shadows that gives them power, and we need to take the shadows away. At least that's my perspective. How to do that would need to be a societal effort. I don't think it's something I can do alone, but I do believe that these absolute monsters need to be have a light shine on them so that they can disappear. All right. Sorry about that upsetting one. My question for you, though, is: are you ready for Pokemon Pocket TCG? Are you planning on checking it out? Are you interested? If you are, please check out, again, the link in the description to this video and the pinned comment where our Pokemon Pocket TCG first video will be found. Pretty please, I would really appreciate it. And if you're interested in the game at all, hit a sub. It won't hurt you, and it helps us so much as we try to build up a new channel. We currently have all of like 3 subs, so your sub would really mean a lot to us and help us get this stuff going. All good? All good. Time for Patreon shoutouts. Oh, also, hey, if you're a Patreon, even a $1 Patreon, I released the $10 Patreon video for this week as a video for everyone $1 to $10 to see if you were interested in supporting the channel more. I do a free $10 exclusive video every week. I'd like to say thank you to Abigail Giesland, Mandatory Burnout, Cables, It Regardless, David G. Wingfield, Direwolf, LAB, FaThorNewman, Good Dog Gamer, Inc., I Am Frostman, you are, Jay Nevereet, Corwin, The Great Primed Ryan, Ryan Burke Avenue, Caretix Lee, who thank you for so much help yesterday, Caretix, Koiray, wonderful Koiray, the Black Dahlia, my current alliance leader, Pyrofros, hey Pyro, The Goat Seeker, hello Goat Seeker, Den Man Falcon, check him out on YouTube, Quid Pro Joe for you, Docty, the King of New Marvel Snarp card content, go check out Docty's Aranya video. My Aranya video is in yesterday's. It was put up yesterday. Fat Nick, Mr. Kerfuffle, thank you for joining. And I know I played you, and I don't know who won now because my memory is bad. Ginger Prime, hi Ginge, Philip Rakovich, hey Ratko, and Haplo, Kenny Loggins of the Danger Zone, Rob Silverman, The Bizza, X-Force V and Skippy G, Tommy Nyquist, who won Snap Judgment League Season 1, The King of Bros, Brett, The Great Kazoo, Jessica Campbell, Woody, Kevsey Hoda, Luna Chris, Quantum Quinn, John Q, and Jimmy McHugh, Clam, 8th Stage, Mount Supreme Models, Darth Tater, Joe P, no joke A, Brian Coffin, Tristan Martin, and Jason B, J.D. Mutalino, The Fuzzy Dunlop, welcome back, bud, Spectre Mix, Woot, Matt H, DJ Mikey Hijinks, No Frickin' Flex, Ocularis, gotta get infinite again, my friend, Craig Sterry, Seamus, Jonesy, Two Ties, The Great Lauren Whatevs, The Pirate King Tuccrr, The Homie Minute, of course, Gunny T, where the T stands for. Check right below for an Aranya link for that video, and check out the pinned comment and description of this video. You know you want to. It'd mean the world to us. See you soon for another Snap Take. Tomorrow, more stuff and patch day, so hopefully 2 videos, but no promises until I figure out how I can do that. Peace.